Hello there. Today we're with Sarah and she's showcasing the very first quilt that she ever made.
Yes.
And so we're going to talk about her quilt. Okay, everybody, this is Sarah and this is her quilt. And Sarah, what size quilt is this?
I'm not sure, honestly. It fits across the top of my queen size bed. I just used up all the squares that I had. I wasn't trying to make it a certain size.
Okay. But it's a nice quilt. Very pretty. Look at this.
So these 5-inch squares were a charm pack called Ancient Beauty, and they kind of look Egyptian to me. They all have a little bit of gold in them. And then I sewed them one square on top of the other. These are black layer cake squares. And I have another one I can show you how I did it. But so I put all these together, and then I took it to a long armor, and they long armed it with gold thread, which I couldn't be more tickled because that really kind of pulls it all together. So the way I do the square, so here's another square from an I Spy quilt that I'm making for my grandson, is you iron the square in both directions, both squares in both directions, so you can find the middle. And then you iron the two sides in and sew those two seams and turn it and iron those two sides in and sew those two seams and then iron it flat.
I think it's called square in a square.
Square in a square is a good name for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just found it, I literally started quilting in January, and I found a video showing how to do this, and I thought, well, I'll try it. And I did the first square and it was easy peasy. So I did this whole quilt.
And it's her very first quilt.
It's my very first quilt.
And I told her she should just take it and hang it on the wall somewhere as a decoration. But
well,
she's going to use it.
I have it on my bed because I love it so much, and I made it to put it on my bed. And it kind of looks like a stained glass window, which was definitely the look I was going for. So yeah, it's my first quilt, but I'm using it and I love it. And I'm very proud of myself for finishing something.
I think it's beautiful.
Thank you.
And Sarah, like most modern quilters, took it to a place where they did these wonderful swirly gig things with gold thread.
Yeah.
And it's really just a beautiful quilt. And like I said, it's almost too pretty to use, but Sarah doesn't agree with that.
Okay. I think you should use everything.
Maybe so.
So then this square here I liked, and I liked the fact that it was a little bit lighter. So that's the fabric that I bought for the binding and the backing.
Yeah, look at the beautiful backing.
But because I'm not as experienced, I didn't buy enough for the backing. So when I took it to the long armor, I actually had to buy some of this black to supplement what I had already bought. But the black has gold stars on it, so
yeah.
It goes perfect with the front. I'm very tickled with that too, even though it was totally an accident.
It's very nice.
It was a happy accident.
Yes. Do you think you would do it again?
Absolutely.
And Sarah has a lot of quilts in progress right now.
Yes, I do.
She started in, I think she's really got the bug.
Yes,
right, Sarah?
I definitely got bitten very hard by the quilting bug.
Yes, very much.
I have a bunch in process, but I like changing it out and working on one project and then another, so you don't get too tangled up in something that's hard. So
that makes sense.
And when I make a mistake, it's time to stop and go home, go to bed.
Right. That makes great sense. So thank you for sharing this with us, Sarah. And we wish you very many more quilts in the future. And I know there will be so many you won't have room to keep them.
Yes, I won't be able to keep them after a while. Thank you.
And people to give them to.
Right.
Right.